All right, let's give her a sip, Woody.
Cheers,
Cheers,
pal.
bud.
Ooh.
Sunday afternoon with our glasses in our hands. The hops and barley bloom in a land of craft and cans. Every sip a story shared. Review and taste we dare with our Sunday sips. Sunday sips. Every for a trip.
Okay, what is up, people? This is another episode of your favorite podcast, Sunday Sips. I'm your host, Kyle Lucas, and that is your other host, Nick J. Woodard,
Nick
the
J.
bad
Woodard,
boy
that's
himself.
me. It's my name. Don't wear it out. And
Today, let's go ahead.
please.
Today, we're reviewing one of my personal favorites. It's not as personal favorite as Valle, but when I see this, I get excited because I know how strong it is. I know what it tastes like. It's very good. It's a good old Elysian Space Dust. Very, very potent stuff. This potion is brewed out of Fort Collins, Colorado. The alcohol volume is 8.2%. She hefty. With a taste to match too, I might add. Before we even tasted, I remember this being very hoppy. It is just an IPA. That's strange. I thought this was a double, but yeah, India Pale Ale. This is what it says on the can: Space Dust. The hopping is pure star glow energy with Chinook to bitter and late and dry additions of Citra and Amarillo.
Ooh,
Very nice. Very nice.
I like that a lot. Okay, we're gonna give this guy a little hard crack and get right into it,
We
or what?
we should. We should. Hey, wait, this is also in Seattle too. This is also on the can. We opened our doors in 1996 when bold art and music defined Seattle. We carry that same spirit in the way we brew our beer. It's about taking chances, learning from our missteps, and changing perceptions. And then it gives you a link to the website. It also gives you a little phone number. That's cool.
I always
Um,
like a can that gives you a nice little story to pair with the
yeah,
beer. I like
yeah,
that a
yeah.
lot.
Right, and it's not like too much. I'm not reading like a
No,
you
no,
know
it's pretty
manuscript.
succinct. Yeah.
Right. All right. Let's give her a crack. 3, 2, 1. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
that was a hard crack. Oh yeah, she smells strong.
Oh, yeah.
I got a lot of head too.
Oh, yeah. Lots of head to work with.
Right off the
Ooh.
bat, that's an IPA.
Yeah, sure
Uh,
is.
I do get tiny notes of citrus, but it's very good. The color is a nice amber, rich amber color. Um, it's sort of hazy-ish, but it's not as hazy as like a traditional hazy,
No,
if you
no.
will.
Yeah, I don't think it approaches that, but it does have a strong color to it. You're definitely right.
It does. It does. All right, let's give her a sip, Woody.
Cheers,
Cheers,
pal.
bud.
Ooh. Oh, I
From the
love it.
front, from the front, it's bitter, and all the way to the back, it is bitter,
Every sip of the way.
and it is good. What are your
I'm
thoughts?
on I'm on the Space Dust or the Elysian website right now. I just want to
Sure,
throw
sure.
some additional details in there as we're giving this thing the first few sips.
Yeah,
Uh, Space Dust balances bitterness with a sweetness of hop flavors, grapefruit, mango, and orange aromas with a medium body and a dry finish.
it is dry.
I
It
I
does
I,
have a dry
I
finish.
think that sums it up pretty well. I mean,
Yeah, because it's
all of
fruity, but
those
it's not
flavors
like
are in there.
yeah, it's fruity, but it's not like tropical fruity like the
No,
tropical one we
right,
had
right.
last week or 2 weeks ago. The the orange notes are there, the citrusy notes are there. Like it's there, but it's not as punchy in the face as I remember the last one, the or a couple times ago, the
Yeah,
tropic IPA. It's not
yeah,
this is very much IPA forward, straight
100%,
up. Um
100%.
I don't know if you know this or if you remember anything from science class or whatever, but I remember your tongue has different spots on it that tastes different things. Like I remember the front of your tongue is like for sweetness. Then there's like middle sections and whatnot, and then I remember the back of your tongue is for bitterness. This beer laughs in the face of science and throws that under the bus completely because they're like, we'll show you bitter everywhere.
Speaking
This.
of bitter, do you want to take a guess at
Mm.
what kind of IBUs we're looking at here? Scale of 1 to 100. For
I'm
reference,
not gonna. I'm.
yesterday, or the last week's episode, the Farmer's VIA, the IBUs were in like the teens
It was
because it was
15, I
not,
think.
I
Some.
think it was
Yeah.
15. Not a bitter beer at all. This seems to be probably on the opposite end of the spectrum. So I'd
I.
love to
I don't want
see
to.
what you're
I don't want to blow it way too out of proportion. I
sure.
want to. Just because the VIA was down there, I remember the Tropic one a couple weeks back it was still under 50. It was like in the
Yeah,
30s, I think.
yeah.
But that was heavier fruit forward. I'm gonna say 55.
You are on the right track. You're
Okay,
going in the right direction. You're
it's
you're
higher.
you're gonna need to hike it up a little bit.
Okay, 70.
73.
There you go. There you go.
73.
So if I did blow it out of proportion and go with my original thought was like 75, 80,
Yeah,
which would be up
right,
there.
right on the money, pretty much. Um,
Put it this, we have friends that don't like bitter stuff like IPA flavors, and I'm gonna tell I wouldn't give this to them
no,
because me or you would have to finish it.
100%.
Yeah,
Um, it's a good beer. It's a very tasty beer, but
it is.
if you can't handle something that's very hop forward,
Mm,
this is not for you.
yeah,
Um, I do like that their website. I haven't seen this on other breweries' websites. When you're looking at they have a dedicated page just for Space Dust, and I believe they have a dedicated page for all of their um, year-round beers at least.
it's
Uh,
crazy.
it shows you how you can get this beer, like the different variations that you can acquire this beer, and you can get it as a
Sure.
22-ounce bottle. You can get it as
Hmm.
a 6 pack. You can get it as a 12 pack. You can get it as a 19.2 ounce can as a little single.
Right.
And then you can also get it in keg form. So I just think that's a nice little detail to include. Like, hey, here's the different variations that this thing's going to come in. Um,
Yeah.
it's also just dives into the origin of the beer itself and the artwork of the can. So I'm gonna just because we have it, might as well throw it out there.
It's
For,
classic. Yeah.
yeah, first brewed in 2012 as a one-off at our Innovation Brewery. The name originates from the brew day where leftover Galaxy hop dust was spontaneously thrown into the brew, hence the name Space Dust. The
Crazy.
beer grew in popularity within our pubs, was bottled in our Manic series and eventually became the #1 beer in our portfolio. Galaxy hops were eventually replaced by Amarillo. So it was a one-off in their innovation brewery, which is
Sure.
lots of bigger breweries have what they call an innovation brewery, which is, a much smaller operation where they can, make small batches of beers that they can
Experiment.
try out and yeah,
Right.
and
Sierra
see what
Nevada's
works,
got
what
one.
doesn't.
Yeah.
Sierra Nevada has one, and
Yep.
n- tons of beers that they make don't make it to, full grown distribution, but a lot of the stuff that they learn from these beers gets
Hmm.
put into some of the beers that do make it all the way.
Right.
So the innovation brewery, if you're a large enough brewery and you can do that, seems like a really fun way to continue to push the envelope and make some really good beer because I mean this is probably their most popular beer at this point.
It's got
Um,
to be because I see it the most.
yeah,
Um, Fun story about this beer,
please,
if I may.
please.
The uh has nothing to do with the beer, but it's a striking memory for me. And you'll like this story. Spider-Man: No Way Home comes
Mhm.
out, one of the best Marvel movies ever made. And me and my roommate at the time, Kyle, uh, tall Kyle as we call him, we went to the movie theater to see it, and he's like, "Hey, our movie theater sells beer now." And I was like, "Oh, right, sick. We can get some beers and see Spider-Man." He's like, "Hell yeah." So the beer at the movie theater, they only let you get two at a time. And then you have to go back and get one, right? So we got two Elysian Space Dust to start in like little plastic cups, whatever. I mean, they're like 12 ounces. And we sit down and we're enjoying the movie, and he leans over and he goes, "Hey, I'm fresh out. I'm gonna get you some." And his girlfriend and him go to get some, and she gets a tall can of White Claw or something, and an Elysian for him. He gets two more Elysians also. It comes back and he's like, "Here, Big Shoots, I got you another one." And then he's like, he looks at her and she goes, "Oh, I thought I was getting him one." So I was like, "I don't need another one." So he finishes two more. And the scene where all three spoiler alert, you can pause
For
the
a
video if
movie
you have
that
not
came
seen
out
it.
3 years ago.
Still, spoiler alert. For all three Spider-Men like swing and like they do like a pose at the on top of the Statue of Liberty. He like gets excited. He's like, "Fuck yeah." He's like, "Yes." He's so excited and drunk in the theater. And I was like, "Dude, those space tests are really getting to him."
I love
But
it.
yeah,
I
yeah,
love it. That is fantastic. I
it's
mean,
great.
what better way to watch cinematic history than, feeling pretty good on off a couple maybe a couple too many space dusts.
Yeah, he was down four.
Oh boy. Man, I, I
I,
I'm scrolling through their entire lineup, and there's something about a good beer name, like a good name for a beer, that really speaks to me.
sure.
And Elysian has no shortage of good names for beers.
Why don't you
They
rattle some
have
of those off?
absolutely, I'd be happy to. They have, of course, Space Dust, which is just a
Mm,
fantastic name for a beer. They have Juice Dust, which is a juicy IPA variation of the Space Dust. They have Contact Haze, which is
whoa,
great. They have Super Fuzz, which is a blood orange pale ale. And then when you get down into their seasonal beers, they have the Push Mower Pilsner,
nice,
which
nice.
I think is pretty great.
Right up your
Um,
alley.
oh yeah. And then just since we're in that time of year, they have the Great Pumpkin. It's an
Nice,
imperial pumpkin ale.
nice.
Um, but
We got to get some of these.
some good names for beers all around. I gotta you gotta appreciate that.
I've definitely seen the juice dust, but
Yep.
none of the other ones I've ever seen, at least here in Northern California. So we gotta find those. There's a there's got to be like an app or something that we can plug in a name of a beer and find where they're sold.
If I
Something.
remember, so they do have Elysian has its own beer finder.
Oh
So I'm
yeah, yeah.
sure we can pop on the website and find some of these guys. If I remember right, you and I attended a concert, the Golden Sky concert in Sacramento last year.
Yeah.
And they had Elysian. Was it Elysian? It might not have been Elysian.
No,
I'm
Elysian
thinking of
was
it.
there.
But there was one brewery in particular that was like sponsoring. It was not Elysian. We have been to that brewery. The brewery I'm talking about, we've been to. Hold on, I'm gonna find it.
The
One,
you're talking about the beer
yeah,
festival inside the concert.
no, 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 no. After that, we went to that beer festival, which was a lot of fun. Unlimited pours. It was like $20 a person to get in,
Hmm.
and we just made the rounds and made it happen,
Mm.
which was great. But okay, this is interesting because when I was thinking Elysian, I was thinking Hop Valley as
Mm.
Elysian. So
Hmm.
Hop Valley was like a sponsor of this concert, and they had Hop Valley beers everywhere. Um, and I want to say that there's a beer that really reminds me, at least in the style of the can,
Sure,
of
sure.
Space Dust. Um, and I'm sure we can do Hop Valley beers another time. Um,
Yeah, I mean, if you
but
look at the can specifically, the artwork of the can
so
is
so
iconic.
Bubble Stash
Bubble stash.
is the one I'm thinking of because it has, you know, Elysian's got the hop
Hmm.
guy right here, and Bubble Stash just has that like outline of the hop, and it's on a green can.
Hmm.
Um, and it's also an IPA. It's not quite as heavy. It's coming
Right.
in at 6.2%. So a little bit different, but interesting. I was mixing up the two breweries. You and I have actually been to Hop Valley. It's in Eugene, Oregon. On our Oregon road
Mm.
trip, we stopped at Hop Valley and had some beers.
That's cool.
Um, it was pretty good. And then I think this will serve as a little bit of a teaser for a future episode. I felt like I needed to put it out there today because I got to travel where it was a travel day for us a little bit. So we were passing through the Woodland area, Woodland,
Nice.
California, and I've been hearing about a brewery that has had been recommended to us as a place to try. Um, and we finally gave it a shot. It's called Blue Note Brewing Company in Woodland, California.
Hmm.
Um, really good beers. I love a brewery that does a flight right, and they do flights
Hmm.
right. Five,
Nice.
not just five like 4 ounce pours,
Hmm.
five half pours.
Whoa.
So we're talking like you're getting like six ounces in each beer, in each
Nice.
pour. Pretty good stuff.
Did you get a hazy?
I got a hazy.
Of course you
I
did.
got their Oktoberfest beer. I got a
Delicious.
sour. I got something called the North Shore IPA. Hint, hint, hint,
Hmm.
hint. I can't foreshadow it any more than that. But
Right.
a very good selection of beers. Nice outdoor patio. It was definitely worth the stop. So uh,
Nice.
we'll be on the lookout for maybe a Sunday Sips in the future where we talk a little bit more about Blue Note Brewing.
Oh yeah. We're gonna have to go to there's a that reminds me, there's a couple breweries in like Santa Rosa area
Hmm.
that is close-ish to us that we have not been to.
We
Um
we almost stopped at Berryessa Brewing, um,
Berryessa is one of them, yeah.
but that again that'll be for a different day.
Hmm. There's no shortage of breweries around us.
Oh yeah.
Even in
Oh
surrounding areas that uh we have to our accessible to us. We can get supplied with the best Morgan Territory beers from Tracy, California.
I was gonna
Um,
say we are very fortunate to be in an area in surrounding areas who
mm,
care very much about beer and try to make
mm,
great beer because there's a lot of it to go around.
mm.
Like we
Now
could,
you brought up something that had not crossed my mind that is it's not exciting to me, but we should do it is sours.
yeah, yeah, to be fair.
to be fair, the sour beers have grown on me a little bit, but I traditionally do not like them whatsoever.
You steer clear
Um,
if you can.
I do, but I'm willing to give them a try as long as we can step into like milkshake sours and like stuff like that and
Oh yeah, we
whatever.
can get weird with
Yeah,
it. The
yeah.
beauty of the sour is they do get weird with it from time to
Mhm.
time. Like
Just be no, or just be known,
just be known, just be
just be
known.
known, just know that see, so this beer's already hit me. Just know that I will try any sour or whatever, but my rating for said beer will be from my taste buds. So no one needs to get mad at me if I rate something a 1 or a 0.
Yeah, I mean it's all opinionated, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
all a matter of personal opinion and whatever floats your own boat.
Yeah,
So if we don't like a particular beer, that doesn't mean it's not a good beer. It just means it wasn't
true,
for us.
true. Speaking
S-
of ratings,
I was gonna say
yeah,
that's
we
exactly
should
where I was
hop
going.
on this. So this particular is this beer is an IPA. It says IPA. It has the pungent flavor of a double or a triple IPA. It's somewhere up there, which is surprising to me. Why how they still this is still just a regular India Pale Ale. I'm gonna give this. I'm not gonna do that thing where I landmark a similar beer on there. I'm gonna give this. It still is good. I'm gonna give it a 5.75.
Ooh,
Um, I I like it. I'm not mad about it. Um, but it's just a really heavy beer. The citrus notes, you get it. You get a little bit of it. The it's not overly carbonated. It's nice and smooth. It's that I do like drier taste, but it's just gonna float right around mid and just a little bit higher than a mid for me. If you give it to me, I'm not gonna, you know, not like it, but if you're giving me options, I'll probably take something else.
I don't hate your take on this. Um, I'm gonna go a little bit higher.
Mhm.
I agree with most of the sentiments you put out there. But I do think it's a tasty beer. I don't think it's one that I'm going to pull off the shelves every time I'm going to the store looking for something new.
Right.
It's not that kind of beer for me. Um, but you know, if it's what's available as a craft beer at like a restaurant or something, I'll
Hmm.
gladly take it.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna go a 6.25.
There you go.
6.25.
Right around. Yeah.
Just a little bit
A
higher
little higher,
than where
just a
you're
little
at,
higher.
but
I feel like you wanted to break that six threshold for
I think
sure.
so. I think
Yeah.
so. I think it
This
deserves
beer,
that.
just like the tropical torpedo or the tropical IPA that we had a couple
Hmm.
weeks ago, that just like that one, this is one that it's standard. You have this first when you're starting the night off. It'll give you if you're trying to catch a quick buzz and set the tone for the rest of the night. This is something that you would look towards. If you wanted a more fruity one, you would go with the latter, and if you wanted a more hoppy forward, hoppy centric one, you would go with this one. Um, this is great. This would be great if you have a group of friends, you get a 6-pack and you each have one, and
Right.
you kick the tone off, right? Like I said,
Right.
and then
Right.
you start moving into some lighter options to
Yep.
not um, black out in a couple hours. But you know what? If that's you, then buy a 12-pack and drink them all yourself. But yeah, I mean, it is a good beer. It's a decent beer,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like I said, I'm not going to shy away from it. I don't actively dislike it, but I don't really actively find myself initially like after this. I wouldn't go for a second one, and right off the
No.
bat.
No. 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 I don't think so either. And I'm gonna finish this beer, and it's a good taste, and I don't mind it.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
I mean, I think we've been saying the same thing. It's just not. It's not going to make its way into our lineup, into our
Hmm.
repertoire. It doesn't have a spot on the roster.
Right, right. This is a beer that I put in when one of my starting beers is hurt.
Yeah, if it needs to
And
pinch hit every once in a while,
right,
we can do that.
right,
But
right.
but you know, I like I like branching out. I like trying stuff that um, we haven't tried or is outside of our wheelhouse, perhaps. Because we could review Sierra Nevada beers and farmers beers and local beers all day, but the stuff
Mhm.
that's really going to be fun is really seeing what's out there and seeing how that compares to the stuff that we're used to,
Absolutely.
and you know, and really shaping our palates, if you will, um, based on these new beer experiences. So,
Yeah,
um, so yeah, not a bad call. Not a bad
not
call for
shabby.
Space Dust. Yeah, I'll take it.
And you know what? Like I'm 5'7", you're at 6'2". As we keep rating different beveraginos, um, those low scores might seem a bit middle of the road and
Yeah,
just really really more than okay as we keep going. So don't get discouraged if this is one of your favorite beers, and it'll probably just end up in that like C to low B category um, as we keep growing this. So
100%,
yeah,
100%. Okay. Well, sir, do we have any other Space Dust related thoughts before we close this thing out?
I do. I really am a sucker for good artwork on a can, like we said
Yeah,
during the Voodoo Ranger episode.
right.
This is an iconic can artwork. When you see it, you know immediately what it is. And like I said before we even cracked it, I was like, I have already a thought of what this tastes like. You know what I mean? It's gonna be very strong. It's gonna be very punchy. Like um, and I think that's the purpose of the artwork is for people to just be like, ooh, you know what sounds good? A really punchy beer, and I know
Yeah.
which one. That one.
Well,
You know.
it's just especially something that's going to catch your eye. Um,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there are certain breweries, they don't need to be named at this point in time, at least. There are certain breweries that I have passed over time and time again because their cans just don't look exciting.
Sure.
There's
Sure.
nothing about their cans that really speaks to me, which is a bummer because there could be some really good
Because
beer
really
inside
good
those cans.
beer. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but with so many options out there, if it doesn't look like something that's going to taste delicious, I'm probably not going to pick it up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Especially when
And
there's other options like.
and Space Dust does have that factor of it has the look of something like, oh man, this is going to be a good beer. Like
Mm-hmm.
they put some time and effort into making this um an appealing design,
Right.
which makes you think that there's something good underneath.
Yeah. I do like the I'm finding out the with the Voodoo Ranger and with Elysian, they're they're like branches off of they're like certain lines off of the main road of that brewery,
Yeah.
and they give that their own space, and I really like that. It almost makes me want to try all the other beers that I don't know about and from that brewery that aren't even in the like the spacey line, you know.
Yeah.
And I mean, we'll find them if they're out there. We'll find them.
Oh,
We'll
trust me.
review 'em.
That's the beauty of what we're doing here.
Yes, sir.
There's no shortage of beers. There's no shortage
Mhm.
of time for us to go out and find these exciting new selections.
Right.
But all right. Well, I think that covers it. I think that I think we've done Space Dust justice, at least for this iteration of the podcast.
Yeah. Very good.
So
Very good. This one goes out to all the marketing people out there, whoever's listening, because we just said it. Marketing's important.
marketing is important.
Give your cans a good look, and we will drink them. Give your cans a bad look, and we'll just drink them a lot later.
Yeah, a little bit further down the line.
Yeah. Did you finish yours?
I am working on it, but we'll get there.
All right.
Cheers,
Well,
buddy.
Cheers, buddy. It's a bigger mouthful than I thought.
All right.
Ooh,
Well, thanks for watching, folks.
Yes, sir.
Like and subscribe. I think we should start saying like and subscribe.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
It feels like most people who are doing podcasts say that at the end. Like and subscribe, all that jazz. Find the podcast wherever podcasts happen.
I do like what I have been saying over the past few.
Oh, yeah, please.
Yeah. Crack one for us, and we'll crack one for you.
Amen to that.
All right, brother.
Dark night,
All right, pal.
we unravel flavors lore. Mosaic dreams take flight of IPAs, and we adore. Raise a toast to what's new here in the world of craft beer with Sunday sips. Sunday sips. Every pour a trip with our Sunday sips. Each note we hear as we sip and cheer. Craft beer's near. Sunday's treasures clear with our Sunday sips. Sunday sips. Every pour a drip with a Sunday.